Hi, welcome back to Layman's Guide to Cracking the Coding Interview. This is Jux, and today's problem is a little bit trickier, but it's a simple one. And it was asked in the leetcode, and it was being asked in the Facebook, and also in the Microsoft. So let's begin. So here's the question. To find the duplicates, but we have a conditions, the runtime should be less than O of n square, and the space time should be just O1. So that means we don't have to use any space. Just you can use some temporary variables, but without any big numbers. So here's the questions. Given an array, number containing n plus 1 integers, where each integer is between 1 to n. So this is a little bit important to see because they mention 1 to n in a question. So whenever they mention anything like this, we have to be a little bit careful and cautious on this. And the problem is to find at least one duplicate within that given array, right? So they exist and duplicates, so we need to find which one is the duplicates. So this is the input here: 1, 3, 4, 2, and 2. And as we can see, the 2 is the repeated number, so we need to return that. So, and as mentioned in the questions, it says that the numbers are between 1 to n. So like if we have a index length, or if we have a items of a length, then that would be the number of items, that would be the n number of items, right? So those are the containing items within the input array. Same goes for the input here. So in the input we have a 3, 1, 3, 4, 2. So 3 is the repeated one, so we need to output the 3. So let me put the questions here. And we have an index from 0 to 4, and we have items 1, 3, 4, 2, 2. So we have 5 items and up to index 4. And how we do now? So let me put this. So we can do this in place, in fact. So here we have 0 and we have 1. So we always start from 1. We check if index I plus 1. Let me just put index right here for now. So we check if I plus 1 equals to val as in input I, right? So in this case it is, we don't do anything, we use this, we are using the same input, we are not creating any extra parameter or any variables, we are just using the same one right here. So in that case that's fine, and we will have the same values in the given array. Let me throw this. Okay, so now I would be 1. So when I is 1, what do you do? So we have a value as a 3, but it's not equal to I plus 1. So we do the swapping. So this is the current value. So we go to the index of this value and then we swap. So this is 1, 2, 3. So we copy this, we swap it with 3. So let me just copy. I'll just write swap current value with the input at current value. So this would be the case, and we have to decrement I as a 1 because after every iterations I gonna be plus 1, right? So that's what we're decrementing. So once we decrement, it's gonna come to this pointer again, right? So let me go to the second one. So we have these conditions, we're checking if index I plus 1 is equal to input or no. So it's in place, so we don't have to worry. And then else we need to get the current value, right? So we have a current value, that's the input of I. So I is over here at this point. So then we also need to check if the current value is equal to the position of that current value. So in that case, obviously it's a duplicate. So we just simply return this is duplicate. And if not, we do the swapping. I did the swapping right here, but I created the functions earlier. So this is the way we do the swapping. So we create a temp as an input value of that current as an index. And then in that current index, we put the ith value. Then we put the temp value in the ith positions. So every often we increment, we decrement the I when we do the swapping, because once we do the swapping, we still need to check are we on the right positions, are we good to go or no. So that's how we do. So here we did the swapping. So after we do the swapping, let me copy. I'll have a 4 here, I'll have a 3 here. So at that point we are still at 4. Then we swap with the fourth value, 1 2 3 4. So we do the swapping with this. In that case, let me paste it. Oops, I think I can show you while I do the debugging. So let me just change this. And when I reach here, so this is the case where we return again. So when we are at the ith position, so I plus 1, if is greater than the value at that index, then at that point we need to return whatever is that. That means we have already seen this value and it's again repeating. So that's why we're returning that. So we were here, so I'm trying to return that thing. So see, if I plus 1 is greater than the current value, we return that value, and then I decrement the I, because every iteration the value of I increments. So let me run that in the program. So here we have, so this is the input, 3 1 3 4 2. So here let me just do the debug. So it's looking for if I plus 1 is greater than the given, so it's not for now. And here it's checking whether the position at 3 is equal to value 3. It is, so it's gonna throw it right away. That's it. We have a right like a in place order. So 3 is the input, and it will check whether the positions of 3 is exactly equal to 3. It is, so that means it's duplicated, right? So it will just return 3 right away. So let me take another example which we could see a little bit more better. Let me put it here. So let me run the program first. So here the 2 is the repeated number, so that should be written. And let me go to the debug point so that he could notice right over here. So I is 0 at this moment, and it's checking if I plus 1 is equal to given I. That's the input, and it is. We don't do anything, we just increment the I, and then I is now 1. So now we're going at the index 1 and checking the value at 3. So this doesn't verify. Go to the else statement, not even this, and then we do the swapping. So 3 is here now, it's gonna swap with the position 3. So 4 came here, 3 is here now, and we decrement I again. So I gonna be 0, but then we increment again, so that we're again checking at 4. So the position will be 4 would be swapped with the position of 2. So every time when it's on positions, we just do the pass and then we increment the value of I so that we could move forward. So 2 is here, 4 is here now, because they did the swapping, and we increment, so we don't have to do anything, so we just moved here. Sorry, now it's gonna move. I think I was too fast. Okay, so now I is 2, so it's gonna go at this positions, so it's gonna check 3. So now it's at 4, so it's gonna check at these positions. That's also fine. Now finally we are right over here, because we've already seen 2, so the condition is I plus 1 right over here. So that would be the so that would be the case here, and it's gonna return the 2 because 2's already been seen and we shouldn't see any more 2's, but we saw here, so that's why it's trying to return that, and we have a result as 2. Okay, so I wanted to show you one more condition. Okay, so I put the big one and I'll just run here. So here you could say 3 is repeated, 2 is also repeated. So whichever is we see at first, that's going to be thrown off, right? So we don't have to wait for like a last one. Whatever we see the repeated one, it's going to throw it away. So I want to do the debug here. So we have a 3 4 2 7 8 2 3 1, and it's starting from here. So at first it's going to swap with the positions 4, so 7 going to be here, and I would be decrement, and it's going to check for the 7th position. That would be at 2, I guess. So on. I'll just debug quickly. So the 7 is here now. Now 7 gonna swap with 3. So 3 is here now, and 3 gonna swap with 1 2 3 2. So 2 gonna swap with 3 again. So we have a 3 here. Now the positions 3 also have a 3, so that means it's duplicated. So right here, it's this is the point where the program exits. So see, it's seen 3 already, and at that position they have the same value. That means it's a duplicated for sure. So it's gonna return. That's it. Let me run again. So we have a 3. Yep. Thank you.